Gracious aloha. Volume 2 of my Zwerglipatch Diaries. Let's see. Ooh. Oh, I have to tell you, when I began my diaries in earnest, I left 8 blank pages before the first entry, thinking I'd write a nice long introduction. Well, I tell you, this is the only time you're going to get a nice long introduction. From now on, I only left 4 pages, and I usually only use 3. So keep that in mind while you're listening to my introduction for Gracious Aloha. During the last 13 months, I pondered my things, my place, my garden, my life, my love, my luck. Yesterday, when I placed the last words on page 242, I did feel that sense of accomplishing something. Something worthwhile? This question I cannot answer, nor should I attempt to answer. When I read this book 10 years from now, I will answer my question. Obviously, I saved some pages or reserved some pages at the beginning so that I could write an introduction to my entries. This was a mistake. Filling these final pages is too much of a task. The first pages of a book either entice the reader to continue reading or shut off any interest the reader had. They say a good cover helps too. Oftentimes, I skip the introduction myself and get right to the book. If I enjoy the book, I read the introduction, and I'm usually glad I did, and also wonder why I skipped it in the first place. For these first pages, I considered their importance and began to make notes of what these first 11 pages should say. Oh, this was a big mistake. My notes ended up being for another volume, not this one. My entries in this volume were written by transparent scribbling. Yes, I would think of something, an idea, image, a place, or see my environment and place it on the written page, or rather the blank page to create the written page. I feel no reason to explain anything. In that way, I'm very like Mary Poppins. Oh, I will explain the skip-off in between the dated entries, January 28th, 2008 to November 2nd, 2008. I utilized my time during these weeks to finish a notebook given me by Peter Landrock during my Studio 54 days. It's entitled The Gnome Notebook, which is a very fortuitous title considering my situation today. Zwergli is Swiss for gnome. Thus, Zwerglipatch, the name of our garden, is very apt, but that story will arise in another volume, not this. Yes, over 30 years it took me to be bold enough to bare my breast, brain, and brandish my reality in the Gnome Notebook. Therefore, the fact that only 13 months were spent on this volume is an accomplishment. This year, 2019, oh, no. This year, 2009, will be the first year I've made a point of writing every single day. Being only February, this statement is written with a great deal of hope. Hope, however, is now on my side. Perhaps not hope, but the will to write and share the words I do write. And I did keep to my word. Struggling, choosing, finding. Writing is all of these. Writing is my puzzle. Writing is my game. Writing is my physical recreation. And gardening, too, is necessary for my health and well-being. Well-being is synonymous with being happy, yet well-being implies good health. I know that one can be happy and unhealthy. One can be happy that one is breathing. Each breath, like each heartbeat, assures another moment of life. another moment of existence, another moment in which one is scudded by the winds of time. I laugh at those who claim not to travel. Each day, we travel thousands of miles as the planet rotates. Each day, we travel tens of thousands of miles while orbiting the sun. Each day, we travel probably countless miles as our galaxy hurls through space towards the unknown. And to think, many actually enjoy riding a Ferris wheel or a merry-go-round, whirling about even more while we all twirl towards the unknown. Such is our collective recreation. When exploring one's place in this world, one is negligent if one doesn't delve into the self. My attempt to place a myriad of mental notes on paper has been a task which has resulted in many surprises. Surprises I never knew I had held within me are now glaring at me from these pages. These silly diversions of mine which I have placed on paper have been festering for over 50 years. Yes, 5 decades of collecting are explained in these pages. 5 decades of seeing and being mean that my life stew is akin to the fabled stone soup. It fascinates me that one thing leads to another. One idea, when placed by an object, becomes a mirthful tale of explanation of myself. A few years ago, I almost lost my mind due to a brain cell eating bacteria in my head. Now, where else would one's brain be? My recovery is still in the present. This experience is most upsetting when one wants to think quickly and with precision. I am exploring what I do remember from my past. My explorations come upon many closed doors or cells that need a reawakening. I'm happy that the film is still rolling in my mind. Some of the prints are scratched, but the images can still be made out. That's one explanation of these scribbles. Further explanation would be superfluous. I, like Mary Poppins, do. I do, without too much thinking. What happens, happens. What is, is. In 5th grade, when I first saw the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, I had to run to the library to see if it held Mary Poppins. My thrill to see and read that book is still with me. The movie Mary Poppins taught me other big words, such as cinematography. That's just one example of how, in my life, one thing led to another. I look about me on this vacation patio and see a lizard eyeing a group of ants eating a crumb on the floor. The lizard hops to the floor. It ignores the ants, but eats the crumbs. The lizard hops back onto the wall and waits to see another group of ants find another crumb. Many days, I feel that I, too, am a lizard. I wait, I look, I hop, or rather saunter down to gather my sustenance. The crumbs I gather are images, bits of information used to assist my understanding. Of course, understanding still seems out of my grasp. There's too much to understand. I still find that one thing leads to another. One question asks another. One fact is never enough. Thus, I will continue my transparent scribbling. Before I start my daily scribbling, I sip a cup of green tea. The Brits have it quite right. A cup of tea not only soothes, it nurtures and makes things better. Where would we all be without tea? All these pages are now all filled. This final task is done. My tea needs to be warmed. I look up. I see white Cumulus clouds in a clear blue sky through palm fronds. The lizard eyes another crumb, and I, myself, am numb. Condado, San Juan, Puerto Rico, February 18th, 2009, 9:26 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Now here is the very first entry from Gracious Aloha. It's in the Nassau, Bahamas on January 13th, 2008 at 2:35 p.m. The first paragraph. Ironwoods and palm trees protect sensitive skins. Cumulus clouds in the technicolor blue sky shadow briefly the K's, silver and long.